Shalom, shalom, fam. Israelite Prepper here. I was just thinking about patriarchy, and I mean, if we've been paying attention the last, couple of years actually, and we look at all the things that are happening in our society, and we can go back and we can look at, the rise of women's rights and stuff like that. And let me say clearly that I'm not against women having rights. I'm not. So I'm just saying that now. That way, in the comment section, you're gonna see crazy people getting mad and upset, and thinking that I'm oppressing women or something like that. And nothing can be further from the truth. But I am pro order and I am pro protocol, because when we look at our society, look at the result, look at what's happening like right now, and it seems like there is an attack on men. It seems like there's an attack on the males. And I want to talk about, particularly patriarchy. And it seems like it's a bad word. If you think about it, it seems like it's some sort of bad word. It's like you think patriarchy, you think people start to think oppression. Okay? A lot of women, they feel like when you even mention the word patriarchy, that it just simply automatically means oppression. That's the image. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, Jay, Ontario. It seems like when you mention it, it's a bad word. It's evil. It's men dominating over women and all that, right? But let's just go ahead and just get a few definitions out of the way. Okay, talking about patriarchy, it's something I'm not doing, something no one else can do. Okay, I'm just looking online, looking at a definition. I'll look at a couple of them. Right, the first one that pops up. Okay, it says patriarchy, and it is a system of society or government in which the father or eldest male is head of the family and descent is traced through the male line. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Okay, so you have that. Right? The other one, it says a system or society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. So that's the one that they gravitate towards. That's the one that they say, okay, yeah, see, patriarchy, women excluded, they're not, and I'm coming from a biblical perspective, okay? This is not, that second one is not the biblical perspective. It's the first one. A system or society or government in which the father or eldest male is head of the family and descent is traced through the male line. That's a biblical perspective. A third definition, a society or community organized on patriarchal lines. Okay? Doesn't seem like a bad word to me, but hold on. Then there's another one. This one's from Merriam-Webster. Everyone knows that one. Social organization marked by the supremacy of the father in the clan or family. Okay, hey, we're Israel, right? We're trying to build tribes, trying to build our communities, right? The legal dependence of wives and children and the reckoning of descent and inheritance in the male line. That's biblical. Is that not biblical? But you have this advent over the last, 30, 40 years of this female uprising, and you have the independent woman and the I don't need a man and all that, and that's fine. Hey, there's some women going to be out there, they're happier single. Y'all bless them. Y'all bless them. But to tear down a male just so you can feel better. Now, don't get me wrong. Let me just say this also, because you're going to see it in the comment section below. There have been males who tear down females. There have been males who tear down females. That's not cool. Okay? But I'm talking about patriarchy for a moment. Okay? Talking about patriarchy for just a moment. There are males that tear down females, and that's not cool. To make yourself feel better. Okay? You don't have to tear down someone to make yourself feel better, right? But I'm talking about patriarchy. Do many of us feel like we live in a patriarchal society right now? Because if you do, You say, well, the men run everything and they're on top and this and that. You could say that. You could say that. But at the same time, let's look at the courts. Okay? And let's look at the case of divorce. Now, what are the laws? How are the laws stacked up between in a divorce between a male and a female? You see, it is designed to strip the male. Look at the statistics. You know it for yourself. If you get out of your emotions, those who are going to come against it, if you get out of your emotions, look at the facts, look at what traditionally happens is what? The male loses the money, loses his property, the male pays alimony, depending on the state that you live in, the male pays child support, and he loses his substance. What happens? And isn't it interesting that for the most part, when it comes to divorce, the female doesn't even need to pay for a lawyer, but a male does. The woman doesn't even need to pay for a lawyer. There's an attack on patriarchy. Now you have that, and you have this, rise of, the independent woman, and hey, women, we don't need men, and it's male dominant, and this and that. What they do, thank you, brother. What happens is women who want to bash men and belittle them and make them small and all that, is they use the system, largely made up of male. They use the system to destroy the man. They use the system to destroy the man. I'm not saying, I'm not crying victim or anything like that. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is just stating what is happening right now. What is the facts? What are the facts? What's happening right before our very eyes? You probably know someone who's gotten divorced. At least one person, okay? You know somebody got divorced. Either you got divorced or you know someone got divorced. Who typically loses? Don't give me the emotional or the sentimental, the kids lose and all that. Let's be honest. Between the male and the female, who typically loses? And that's what typically happens. So you have to understand something that you have to understand that it's a simple definition, and people put so much emotion in there and don't want to just call it on the line. Just call it on the line. There's no balance. Let's not pretend that there's a balance. There's no balance there. No balance. And now with that, you get MGTOW, men going their own way. And I had someone get upset on a video on one of my, it's a video I think I made 2 years ago. Or something, a year or two ago, something like that. And she was mad that I even mentioned MGTOW, as if I'm the ambassador of MGTOW. I'm not the ambassador of MGTOW. I just know what they're talking about. I just know what the war cry is. It's like, okay, I don't want to get taken advantage of anymore. Where is the fairness? That's all I'm saying. Things are getting out of balance. Out of balance. I grew up where I was like, I felt guilty because the system conditions you to feel guilty for being a guy, being a man, being a provider. We got to understand. We got to fit the definition. Okay? I don't oppress my wife. I don't oppress my daughter. So quit taking a word and making it seem like, it automatically means oppression. I'm looking at it up and down in social media, and all of a sudden it's a bad word. And so I just say, you know what? Let me go ahead and look at the definition of this word. Let me look it up. Because automatically, if you just mention a word, it has this negativity attached to it, and it's unfair and unjust. I don't understand. With patriarchy, it's like, okay, it doesn't automatically mean someone is oppressed. If you understood the biblical system, if you understood, it is men have to be accountable for women. They have to be accountable for their daughter. I'm accountable for my daughter's well-being until she gets married, until she's out of my house, right? I'm accountable for that. That's patriarchy. I'm accountable for my wife until I die or she dies. What is bad about that? I don't understand. What's bad about that? I am to raise up my son to make him a responsible, accountable male, respected. I don't understand what exactly is bad about that. A system where wives, daughters, women are supposed to be taken care of from the womb to the tomb. The father hands off his daughter to her husband, and it's on him now. That's patriarchy. That's biblical patriarchy. That's what's supposed to happen. A father is supposed to protect and nurture his wife and his daughters. That's patriarchy. But no one's talking about that. Everyone wants to just throw mud on it. Everyone just wants to throw mud on it and, hey, patriarchy, oh, male dominant and oppressive and just holding a woman down and this and that. I'm telling you, that's not the definition. That's not the definition. There's an attack on patriarchy. Someone tell me why. Someone tell me why when I just read the definition for you. And I'm coming from a biblical perspective. That's what it's supposed to be. So what we need are men to rise up and exhibit the true definition of patriarchy. Don't let someone steal it away. Don't let someone shame you for simply being a man, simply being a patriarchal man that says, I'm going to take responsibility for my family. That's patriarchy. It's not about oppressing anyone. It's about protecting and providing and nurturing. If you really understood it. If you understood the biblical model. It's Israelite Prepper, Pastor Nobody. I'm here to bring back the true definition. Don't be afraid to be a man, a true patriarch. Israelite Prepper.